Hi, and welcome to these series of vlogs. My name is Iskander Fernandez, partner and head of BLM's White Collar Crime and Investigations team. During the course of these series of videos, you will hear from me and my colleagues in employment and litigation regarding internal investigations and how those investigations should be conducted in the event that the corporate decides to commence one. Now, it's quite clear during the current pandemic and the resultant lockdown that the manner in which business could be undertaken has been severely impacted. In particular, there appears to be a rise in the number of whistleblowing complaints, particularly to HMRC, regarding the manner in which business has been carried out during the course of the lockdown. You will have noted that HMRC only a couple of weeks back arrested the first individual in connection with a potential fraud on the furlough scheme. The likelihood is that the number of investigations by HMRC and potential arrests could rise over the next couple of weeks, if not months. In this first video, I will be discussing the commencement of an internal investigation and whether or not an investigation should be commenced given the current pandemic and the lockdown. If a whistleblowing complaint arrives at the door of the corporate may well wish to undertake its own investigation into the issue before referring the matter to a regulator and/or a law enforcement body. The reason for that is that there may be no merit whatsoever in the complaint, so therefore the corporate will want to keep matters within the four walls of the organisation before referring it out. However, there may be difficulties in commencing an internal investigation because of the current limitations that businesses are facing, in particular when it comes to speaking to individuals as part of an internal investigation or when considering documents. If a decision is taken not to commence an internal investigation or indeed pause that internal investigation, any complaint that has been made should be acknowledged in writing, and the reasons for not commencing the internal investigation should be documented. This will prevent any later criticism by third parties or stakeholders. However, it may not be possible to do that, and the corporate may well wish to commence an internal investigation in order to nip the issue in the bud. Of course, any issues may result in reputational and/or financial fallout. So if a decision is taken to undertake an internal investigation, the first thing that should be considered is the nature and, importantly, the context of that complaint that has been made. If the complaint has come from a disgruntled employee who has had his or her employment recently terminated, the context of that termination may be vital when you go to consider the nature and the merit of the complaint. Once that complaint is understood and the nature and context are properly analysed, you should think about pooling resources from across the company in order to assist you with that internal investigation. This could mean securing individuals from the likes of IT, legal, HR, and if there's a financial element to the complaint that has been made, someone from finance. Also, you may wish to consider instructing external counsel to allow the investigation to have an air of independence, again, to prevent any possible criticism being made at a later stage that the investigation was not independent. Once those individuals are pooled and the context of the investigation is fully understood, the details of the investigation should be kept as close as possible to those individuals and should not be published. The reason why it should not be published is because it could prejudice the nature of the investigation or the ability to undertake a thorough investigation over the weeks or months that that investigation may take. In addition, it will protect and preserve historical relationships that you have with employees. For example, if there is no merit in the complaint, which has arisen as a result of that internal investigation's findings, then that will preserve any relationships that you had with the individuals who were investigated.